Now to continue our conversation is Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez, who represents Uvalde. We spoke a day after the horrific shooting. Senator, thank you for being with us again. I thought, about you these last couple of days as the process begins where 21 families are saying goodbye to their loved ones for the last time. They were killed. They were dropped off at school. They never came home. They were supposed to be celebrating their summer vacation today. How is that community doing? How can this unimaginable grief be described?
Well, thank you, Jose. I think that yesterday is probably the first day that I haven't broken down on and just started crying. So we're getting a little bit better in that regard. A lot of anger is setting in because people, after Friday's press conference, are very concerned about what went wrong. For my part, I'm just trying to make sure that the families have the resources that they need going forward. It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of fraud on the money that's being raised for some of these folks in their children's name. So I've reached out to the Attorney General's office so that we can look at those things. We just got to make sure that these families are being cared for, that they're getting the resources that they need, and that nobody's trying to defraud them.
Senator, that's such an important thing that you're doing. And I think this is important because people do want to help, and we have to make sure that that help doesn't get misappropriated. When I was with you last week there, I remember how difficult, of all the difficult things it was for you to be with those families as they found out that they had lost their child. Some of the details, the horrific details of what went on inside those classrooms. Have the parents been told? I'm just wondering, how does the process of healing go on? Are they told all those details that you unfortunately had to hear, and are they told about the efforts that went on during that hour?
No, not in total. But they hear bits and pieces. One family in particular, and I won't mention their names, their little girl, here I go, this child had only received a bullet wound in the back. So unlike the other children who had multiple rounds, they had one round on this little girl. The first responder later admitted to them that this little girl had probably bled out. And you just like to think that had law enforcement gone in 20 or 30 minutes earlier, maybe this child would still be alive with us today. And so those are the questions that I have just kind of swirling through my mind. I had a very long and intense call with Steve McCraw on Saturday. He assured me I'd get a ballistics report. I don't care so much as a ballistics report, but rather I want to know where each officer was situated at that time. There was 19 officers at 12:03. He claims that 2 of them were from DPS. Many DPS were outside. I need this for myself. I understand this idea of operational control, but I think it flies in contrast to the active shooter training. Parents are upset and they want answers, and so do I.
Senator, right behind you is Robb Elementary School. It is now that sign that said, "Welcome, bienvenidos," has been covered by balloons and flowers and well wishes and those 21 crosses too. When you look at that school, is there any way that children next year could return?
So, Jose, I've spoken to so many parents and little kids that have come here to honor their friends, and they're just bawling in tears that they're traumatized. There's no way in hell they should go back. I think I heard the mayor earlier in another news conference saying they shouldn't go back. The president said that we were going to work on a grant. Here's the sad state of affairs. We actually have a federal grant for schools that undergo this type of devastation, and it's upwards to $45 million to raise these schools. What does that say about this problem in America?
Senator, how are you holding up? I just want to know, because it's very, very difficult, and you have been listening to things that I don't even know, and you're very close to these families. How are you holding up?
So it's hard, Jose, but it's nothing compared to what these families,
Yep.
I mean, it is amplified a million times over. I mean, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do to come here and be here for them because that's their expectation. And that's my expectation of myself. If I were the governor of the state of Texas, I'd be down here and opening up a pocketbook to these families. How could we ask these folks to go back to work next Monday after they bury their children? We have a victims assistance program. They need to maximize that effort. I've asked Ken Paxton today. I've sent out a letter today. I've asked the governor today to be able to put that through. It's not a lot of money. It's $50,000. How do you go to work? How do you function? How do you do anything? These families should have, with their other children, their siblings of these kids, we should try everything in our power to give them the best summer of their lives. We know that's not going to happen, but we have to just be here and show them that we love them and show them that we're not going away. And that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm going to be here talking to these families and just letting them know that they have a new friend in me. And we're going to make sure that government does what it's supposed to do and beyond, because we should, we must.
Stay on it, Senator. Thank you for being with us. I keep thinking about Lexi's older brother, who was there right where you are when I got the privilege to speak with him the day after. And Senator, he was just saying, I cannot think of my sister, who was going to be a baseball player and a lawyer, not being in her room. I can't think of her not being there. How do you, correct, Senator, go to work on Monday? How do you go forward when the most precious thing that you have has been ripped out of your soul? It's a tough question. Yes, sir.
Jose, you've been part of it and you've gone through this, and there's certainly a PTSD for all of us watching this, and for these families, it's, as I said, a million times more profound. But I have visited with siblings, and it just breaks my heart.
Yep.
These little, they just want their sister, their brother to come back in the door. I mean, they just want to have them there, and we have to do our part to try to make them whole again. I mean, that's, as a lawyer, we always think, oh, how are we going to make someone whole again? There's not an amount of money in this world that's going to make these families whole again. There's nothing. And so I've just got to figure out everything that I can do from my part to try to give them some sense of, or notion that they're loved and that they have people here for them.